I think what a lot of programmers and engineers lack is not the ability to write code. It's the ability to break a problem down. And I'm not talking about an issue in GitHub. I'm talking about you have a problem in front of you. What are the walls that you need to knock down first before you can even think about actually solving it? Like, how do you break that problem down into chunks that you can have success around and then kind of integrate all of that together? If you're not somebody who's good at, you get overwhelmed easily when somebody throws a big problem at you. Like, find the people around you that are good at breaking it down and learn from them how to break it down. I think that's one of the most important skills any engineer can have. Break that problem down into reasonable baby steps and then just start knocking those out. And just like you said, eventually you'll be like, oh my God, look where I'm at. You know, look how far I've come. There is no decision that is free. Nothing is free. Every decision you make in life and in engineering comes with a cost. So if you don't understand the cost, you're not engineering. I'm sorry. Now, some costs are so minimal that we don't think about them, but there's always a handful of very large costs. And so engineering isn't about right or wrong, right? It's about, I'm not willing to take that cost for this particular benefit because I think that's going to hurt us maybe in the end, or it's going to hurt us in the short term. And I try to teach people to understand that readability is literally that. It's about not hiding the cost and making sure you're writing code where the average developer on your team can maintain and comprehend what you're doing. And then everybody says, well, that means you have to make code simple. I go, whoa. Actually, simplicity is fighting readability because simplicity is about hiding complexity. And the moment you try to hide complexity and you lose the ability for me to read it and understand the cost, because it's easy to simplify something and then suddenly hide the cost of what you're doing. The moment you do that, then that simplicity is no longer really adding value, right? You're actually making it harder for me. Simplicity is one of the most complicated things to apply to any sort of kind of software you're writing. The first thing you need to do is be a programmer, right? I need you to be a programmer first, not an engineer. So what do you mean? You're wearing two hats. Programming is about you just trying to get something to work. You're looking for code. You're trying to knock that wall out. You just want something to work. You don't care about idioms, guidelines, design philosophies. Throw all that out. Because if you don't have a piece of code that works, we can't even move forward, right? That's programming. The problem that I see is that people stop at programming. They don't now do the engineering side of it, which is a whole bunch of refactoring of that programming to make sure you can maintain, manage, and debug the software you're about to put in production. And engineering is about understanding the cost. It's refactoring that. It's maybe at some point trying to simplify through abstractions, the right ones, without losing the ability to read or understand the cost. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. But think about this. How many of you feel like every time you put your hands on the keyboard to write code, you have to be perfect? You have to be perfect in that moment all the time. But writing code is no different than writing a blog post. You got to think about it in drafts. You're going to write that first draft of code. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be beautiful. It might even work. That might be your programming. But until you review it and refine it, until your teammates review it and refine it, until that goes through the same review process that your blog post does, you cannot publish it. You can't go into production. So I'm giving you permission to no longer be perfect. Work in stages until at some point it's good enough, because it's never going to be perfect anyway. It's good enough. And then we move on, right? You need a whole bunch of eyes on things, and you got to learn how to refactor and know what you're refactoring at that moment in time. And then not beat yourself up when you look at the code in 3 days and go, what drugs were I on 3 days ago when I wrote this? Because maybe you were in your programming mode and you got distracted and then you came back to it. So can't beat yourself up over any of that either.